Hey everybody, welcome back live at Drew's House Joppa Afternoon Drive. Hope you're all doing well as summer, I can't believe I'm saying this, as summer winds down. Oh, man.
Have you felt it in the morning? It's cold.
It's getting cold. And there's our guest, Charlie Wilde with 92.5 The River. We just had a bunch of people walk out of the studio here, and I hear this all the time, Charlie, of just people who, when they meet somebody from the river, they go, that is my station. That's the only one we listen to. We keep it on at the house. I know you got that on the way out the door, and you must hear that all the time.
Yeah, and it's great. It really is. Yeah.
Can't beat that, right?
Yeah.
You were the morning show host over there. You got a busy weekend coming up here. It's like kind of that time of year. We got the River Fest.
Yeah.
Now it used to be here in Newburyport for many years, which I know that was a great relationship, and you guys have moved it to Salisbury now. I took it in last year. It is a great setting for late summer weekend. You excited?
Really, and the years in Newburyport were just fantastic. We just loved the area that we had there, but it got to be so big.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking over 10,000 people, and it just shut the town down. It's just
there's only so much parking here and all that stuff, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I know I think pretty much everybody who went to Newburyport still kind of makes the trip up to Salisbury by my unexact count, because I saw a lot of friends up there last year. But this is the weekend, so I know Frank Turner's the big act, right? Who's amazing. He played at Boston Calling this year.
Yep.
I caught a little bit of his set covering Boston Calling, and he just seemed charismatic and great, and people seem to love him. So I know you're excited about the lineup. Tell us a little more.
Yeah, I've never met Frank, but I hear he's one of the nicest guys you will ever meet. And he's English, which I have a soft spot for English artists, because I lived in England for a couple of years in London, and I was actually deported from there, and a lot of people know my story if they were there in the 90s. But looking forward to him. Yeah, I can't go.
Okay, sure.
I am off the no-fly list, though, just so you know. Yeah.
Oh man, that's too great. So more conversation off the air. Yep.
Yes, yes. But Frank is going to be putting on an amazing show. But leading up to him, there's one local artist. She's from New England. She's been on. Dana Marshall is one of our DJs that does a really popular show on Sundays called Brunch by the River. She's been featured on that before, and her name is Allie McGurk.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that I'm kind of excited about. He first performed in the River Music Hall in 2014, Matt Pond, PA.
Okay. You
look at Matt and you look at the progression of his career and the amount of musicians that he's played with, it's just staggering. And very talented. He's going to be a great addition to the lineup. We've got a couple more that we can talk about later. Zola Simone, one of them, started when she was 13 years old recording, one of those phenoms.
Yeah.
But it's always just a great lineup. You were there last year for Ripe, who has taken off to the stratosphere. Yeah. And we've been doing it 22 years. So somebody knows what they're doing. I'm not taking any credit for that, but somebody behind the scenes knows what they're doing.
Yeah, you guys had two of my favorites. You had my girlfriend's absolute favorite, which was Ripe, and Ryan Montbleu, who's one of my favorites, who's been in that chair many times before, and that was a great show. Ryan had his band last year too, which was usually I tend to see him solo. It was nice to see him with the band.
He was great.
Yeah,
he was great.
It was a fun one. So the name this year that I know, like I said, I saw Frank Turner a little bit. I've also seen Allie McGurk. I saw her perform at the what was it? It was in Boston. The tribute to David Crosby.
Really?
Yeah, they had it in a bunch of artists came together, and I forget what she played, but I remember thinking to myself, damn, she's good. And I met her. I talked to her a little bit backstage, too, and she seemed sweet as could be. But
you probably get out for more concerts and shows than I do, actually. I hear you all the time talking about shows you've been to.
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
It's like it's a blessing and a curse, right? It's like, because I'm like you, I still do the morning show, so I find myself in these music circles, which is like, great, I enjoy it, and it's fun, and then I'm like, oh, all right, you got 2 hours to sleep. Try to get a good nap,
Right.
So I'm trying to watch that, I guess, a little bit, but it's just too much fun going to see the great shows. It is a great kind of musical community as far as like just the talent that's around these parts,
Yeah, and especially after that. I don't know if you remember the pandemic.
What, that was a few years ago, was it?
A few years ago.
Yeah.
Nobody doing anything. And then when things started to open back up, people went, it's time. We got to get back out.
Yeah, there was definitely that. I mean, it seemed like everybody was playing too. It was and you know what else I noticed? I think this holds true today. I know a lot of musicians I've talked to agree with this, and I think probably the majority do. It seems like there's more live music. Like there's restaurants maybe that didn't have it before that are trying it.
Yeah.
Certainly bars that maybe went from like the weekends to let's do it all the time, during the week. It seemed like let's never forget how important the local music scene was, which I very much enjoy.
Yeah, and the other thing too with that is that a lot of artists that I've talked to said because everybody was hunkered down, isolated, but the creativity that came out of that time from a lot of these bands and artists, they had nothing else to do, and they were, just going stir crazy. So they wrote, collaborated across the Zoom or whatever, and there's been some really good music come out of it.
I agree. Yeah, either write or lose your mind for some of them, right? That's what they would say.
Exactly.
As creative people, it's tough to put them down like that. Let's talk a little bit more about Saturday, because this is kind of the one thing people should know too is get out. It's an early start. Like, get out there. It's a family day.
Yep.
There's a lot going on even besides the music. You want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah. The Salisbury Beach Boardwalk. Most people from here have probably been there, but it's so amazing, and it's kind of a throwback. It brings back a lot of memories for people who grew up here going there as a kid, and all the different arcades and things around there. But for the Riverfest event, there are, of course, our sponsors are going to be all over the place. Food to taste and drinks to drink. If you're of age,
yes,
you can check out the beer garden. Budweiser's got a big deal there, and Tito's, our vodka friends, and plus the other sponsors. And I can't list all of them, but they're giving away all these cool prizes. I think last year we had one of those e-bikes given away. We've got all kinds of things from whoever is sponsoring us, and the range is wide. But and then you've got the food at the boardwalk. Go in and have a slice of pizza, or there'll be tastes and nibbles and sips and everything. So, and it's fun for the whole family. So it starts at noon and it goes until dusk, because it is a family event, and before dark. But after dark, there is a fireworks display. So if people want to hang out after the shows, that's a fun night.
That's beautiful. Do you know what my day was last year when I went? I did the Ripe was on last, so as soon as Ripe ended, a couple of friends
you left
say
there
goodbye
quickly.
to. Do you remember where I went?
No.
It shouldn't work timing wise, but I said to myself, there is no traffic. I know we went last night. He's my guy. I went to go see Bruce Springsteen, and I'm a diehard Bruce guy. So I saw him the night before. I was good. I said we got the Riverfest plans. We were meeting friends in there, but we had already seen them. They had kids. They were not going to be there really afterwards. So we said the goodbyes, and I said, there's no traffic. We could do the full day. And so I was able to do Riverfest and a Bruce Springsteen show in one day.
In Asbury Park, or where?
No, it was at Gillette.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was at Gillette.
Wow,
all in
nice.
One day. We were a little late, but yeah, it was no complaints. It was a great day of the summer. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and he probably a 3+ hour show, right?
Yeah, although if you remember, that was like one of the last shows that Bruce played before he canceled a bunch of shows because he was feeling some pain. He had that I forget what that is, but he had
sciatica or
something like that. He had something going on where he had to doctor's orders shut it down like almost immediately after that. So,
wow.
So he was. I know he was performing in pain that night, but you couldn't tell.
Well, I show my age. I saw Bruce on his 36th birthday.
On Bruce's 36th.
Bruce's
wow.
36th birthday in Denver, Colorado, at what was then Mile High Stadium.
Wow.
It was raining. It was cold. It was fantastic. 3.5 hour show, and my girlfriend loved me for that.
That is beautiful. Yeah. Sometimes rain does make shows better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
not wishing for rain for Saturday and Riverfest. That's not what I'm saying.
But we have ordered a perfect day, and it looks like 80 and sunny, and that's what we're going to get.
I wasn't going to play weatherman. Is that what it is? 80 and sunny? Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
Yeah.
Well done.
Perfect. Thank you. Last year was supposed to rain. I don't know if you remember that, but the skies opened, and
I do kind of remember.
I guess God likes Riverfest.
I remember a beautiful night sky too, as everything was ending. And driving to Bruce, I remember thinking, beautiful sky on the.
There you go.
But so yes, all the benefits of the early start you can go see.
Yeah, right.
But no, it is. I mean, how much work is it though? Because it's. I mean, are you guys there like bright and early, or is all the work done? Have you been working on it for so long that you pretty much?
Well, there are people that have been working on it for so long.
Sure.
I'll show up at noon and leave it at 6:37, whatever.
Yeah.
But I go because I enjoy it. The people that put it together really do work hard, and they'll start working hard on it 2 weeks from this Riverfest.
Sure.
So thinking about bands, thinking about different things we can do.
It's a year-long project.
Yeah. But a labor of love.
How? Yes, it's all a labor of love. Everybody in the radio business says that, don't they?
Right. Yeah. Don't get me started.
The acts you guys pulled, though, I mean, I know you've, it's probably a lot of return favors and artists saying that we really appreciate all the support you've shown us. I mean, I'm sure that's part of it, but you guys are able to land some big acts seemingly every single year. I know that's no easy feat. I know people that do bigger festivals, and it's not easy to get some of these names. Tell me a little bit about that process.
Well, I think that's part of the fact that the river has been going for next year. It will be 30 years.
Wow.
We are still live, local, and independent. We're not owned by a huge company. Uh-huh. I've worked for plenty of those, and I would rather work for a dude, which is the case. There's not shareholders dictating what we do, and so that longevity and that consistency of being an independent local radio station, I think, resonates with a lot of artists. We've had, the amount of people that have come through our River Music Hall, and for our festivals and concerts. I mean, we're talking big names. Adele, when she was on her way up. Ed Sheeran came in the building, signed our wall in there. Have you ever been into the?
I don't think I've actually ever been into the.
Got to get you in there.
I've been outside.
Yeah. I'll get you a pass this time.
Cool. That'll be great.
Yeah, but that's why I think, because they appreciate what we're doing, and there are favors, sure, here and there, and but it's all above board.
Yeah.
And they just like live local music and the fact that we're putting it on.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it is true, because I think that's safe to say when you're talking about like the big time radio in the Boston area, it's hard to find a lot of like new music. You guys will still play these artists that are maybe haven't quite exploded, but you're going to help get them there, which I've always respected from your station. It's I mean, it's kind of what I hope to do when I bring people in here to play. It's like a lot of local talent, and let's see if somebody can notice them. But you guys still do that on that big level. It's the river. It's and it's just, I don't know. It's an admirable thing. You guys must take a lot of pride in that as a station.
Yeah, I've always loved music and exposing local bands and new bands coming up, and I've been in radio so long. One of those new bands was, for instance, a band out of Jersey, actually, Bon Jovi.
Oh yes,
when
Real Potential.
They were coming up, and I was out there with my hair and everything, and I've always been a proponent of new bands that. They got to be nice. I mean, if I interact with them personally, I just appreciate the nice ones, and that's the way it was with Ripe. I got turned on to Ripe and saw them 4 or 5 times before they played Riverfest last year, and just so glad to see them, going up. And we want to do that for any band possible. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure stories. I think that's kind of, you're hinting at it there a little bit, but there are artists out there who, most of them, luckily, that I have met have been great. They're usually very, and some of the ones you've heard maybe bad stories about, and you're like, I'll be honest, it was great with me.
Yeah.
And that's all you can judge somebody by. But there are a few names out there that did kind of, they followed through on not being great.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're so talented. These artists are so talented. I won't name names, but it's like, that's why they're still where they were 20 years ago, and they never quite went to that next level.
It's because. Well, I will name one name.
I love that.
But this is a positive story.
Okay.
And not name dropping here, but it was a cool story, and it happened to me, so I'm going to tell you. It was Paul McCartney.
Oh.
he came to Minneapolis when I lived there. This was in the early mid-'90s, and I got to interview him. And I'll tell you the whole story sometime. But he could not have been a nicer guy, more engaging. When we sat down on the couch, I was the only guy on the radio in town to interview him. He did one TV, one radio. So I got it, and the first 25, 30 minutes was him sitting on the couch with me in this room, just the two of us and engineers, and he was asking me questions. I'm like,
wow. That is cool.
And yeah, it's an awesome story. I can't believe it happened to me, but that he just appreciated everything that he was doing, his music, his fans, his his media that treated him respectfully. So
I've seen him on the streets because he, like, some people I think get the wrong impression, but I've watched this kind of closely because he doesn't like people taking pictures. Like, he's not big on like the selfies and stuff. He would rather have a quick conversation with you. Or how'd you become a fan? Like, what are you doing today? That sort of thing. And if you watch it, he's not just blowing you off. He does kind of like that, just genuine, interpersonal thing, which I kind of, that's kind of cool, right? I don't know. It makes sense that you had a good experience. That's why I was talking about that with the band OAR. Their frontman is Mark Roberge. I think I say his name correctly. And I always say that Mark is like I had heard stories about he's like one of the nicer guys in rock and roll. And I remember another story I can tell you off the air, but I ended up on their like tour bus back in college. Like, they played our school when they had blown up. They were way too big to be playing Bryant University, but it was already scheduled, and they ended up there. I ended up on their tour bus in some funky story. I happened to be with a very good looking girl, and she said, I'm not going on alone. And I said, I don't think they want me on there, but that's how I ended up on the tour bus. But I told him that story. I saw him in Boston a couple months ago for a small little benefit show. And I said, I told him that story being at Bryant. He goes, I remember the show, man. I do. I remember I always used to tell our guys, like, we're gonna just do it right. Like, just don't be a jerk. Be nice. Do what people ask you, and like, I think it will all work out if we just keep doing our music and do things the right way. Right. And it's like I never really had to say it except for those early years. I just feel like we've done it, and like, ask people about OAR. They're just so generous to their fans and to the people behind the scenes, and like, it goes a long way.
It sure does. It sure does. There was what was the saying? We'll remember you on the way up if you remember us on the way down, or something like that.
I like that.
Because the music business is so fickle. Sure. And people can be top of the charts one minute and forgotten and homeless the next. It's just people are, and it's that way in Hollywood too. Sure. As far as that goes.
And I mean, I get it. People have their bad days. It's like, the road can be a grind. I understand that.
Yeah.
But still, it's a better grind than some of the bar scenes out there.
And what some don't understand, that it is part of the job. It is a big part of the job to do that PR with people. And
is Paul the nicest man you've met, you think, over the years?
The nicest big celebrity. As far as musician, yes. Yeah. It just blew me away because he went out of his way to. Do I have time for a really quick story?
Yeah.
Okay. So after the interview, my grandma was sick. Okay, and she was living in Illinois, and he asked me. He said, "Are you coming to the show tonight?" And I said, "I can't. My grandma's not doing well. I got to hop on a plane." He goes, "Oh," and he puts his hands on my shoulders and said, "Well, I wish your grandma the best, and you guys want to come out and watch us do a sound check?" And I was like, "Yeah, that would be awesome." So there were other people from the station that came with me, hoping to be able to meet him, but they kept him out of the room. Well, we're leaving. They're asking me, how was Paul McCartney? I was glowing. And we're walking in the Metrodome, which had because it was a dome, they had a curved hallway. And down the way, 25, 30 yards, I see Paul McCartney walking towards us with this huge bodyguard. And I thought, oh, this is going to be so embarrassing. He's just going to walk right by. Even though nice guy, I didn't expect him to do anything. But he gets like probably 10 yards away from me and stops, and he says, "Charlie." And he comes running up to me, picks me up in front of my friends and coworkers, spins me around. "How you doing? It's been so long." It just...
You got to be kidding me.
No, just blew me away. And then he said, "Come on, you guys, let's go out for a sound check." And then he played at the piano "Hey Jude" for us.
Wow.
We're the only ones in the Metrodome. He played it on the piano.
Sir Paul.
It was, just gives me chills.
That is unbelievable. I can't. I mean, if there anybody that was too big to be, it would be him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But talk about being grounded, huh?
Yeah.
Man, that is an awesome story. I feel like we could go music stories all day, you and I. We'll do that Saturday at Riverfest.
Okay.
Charlie Wilde joining us, 92.5 The River. Final few minutes with him. Morning show. What time are you up for the morning show? You got crazy radio hours like me or what?
6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Yeah.
On at 6 a.m., right? So you're up. Alarm goes off at
4:30.
There it is.
4:30. Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
It's like normal life.
You get used to it.
Sure.
And there's coffee.
And there's coffee. Are you a napper? You do the nap thing?
Can't nap to save my life.
Really?
Nope.
See, I'm in the problem where I don't get like the long extended sleep anymore. Sometimes I'll take the nap and then I'll like go to bed at night, but then I'll like wake up and be like, what happened? Did I oversleep work? Like where,
Yeah.
It's dark when I get up too. It's still kind of, the sky changes around 4:35, but it's not quite daylight yet.
Yeah.
But,
well, I find that I will go a few days having very little sleep, and I'll just hit a wall, and then I'll be in bed at 7 o'clock and sleep right through and be right as rain the next day.
There you go.
So
anything better than morning radio? I kind of sickly love it.
I love it. The state of the business, as we alluded to earlier, is not something, especially the corporate thing, because the end user used to be the listener.
Sure.
Now the end user is the shareholder. So it's just so corporate, and some of the decisions, I've worked for some of the biggest, and it's just changed.
Yeah.
But that's again why, and there are certain even big corporations that still remember how to do it right, And from talking to you guys, it sounds like you guys love it, and they treat you well, and
I mean,
it's good.
Sure, and I think it's probably they probably treat you well until they don't, right? I guess that's unfortunately probably the story in a lot of lines of work. But yeah, I've been lucky in my. I don't know. I guess I kind of take that OAR approach, right? It's like just kind of do the job. I don't, I try not to. I've seen too many people get in their own way. You probably have to in this business, and like, I see self-destruction. It's coming, and then it's like, I don't know. I feel like people might regret it. I just, kind of do the job, and people have always appreciated it, whether it be from the news side or luckily here in Newburyport, they've welcomed me in here, which is nice. And
that's awesome. This is awesome. This is really a cool setup.
We got a lot of good music in here, and I think there was one point where I was going to put records all over, and then I realized not everybody's making the records, even though I think they're cool. I heard there was a record comeback, which is true.
That would be a very expensive proposition now. If you're paying $75 as opposed to $12.
That is the problem. Yes, I know. But yeah, it's now we get a nice little decoration. We're doing well in here. So all right. So Riverfest Saturday. If people, what's like the safe time? Do you suggest get in there early, or you can kind of filter?
Yeah, I would say it depends on the family.
Sure.
If you're carrying around some smaller kids, you may want to gauge that. But yeah, it'll be starting around noon. If you get there early, you get better seat, better location, better place to throw your towel, whatever. And then it goes till 6, and people will be wandering around, between the musical acts, so you don't have to necessarily be there and stay in the same spot the whole day.
No doubt. And it's kind of a relaxed atmosphere in the best of ways. I mean, it's like when we say family event, it really is. We got Zola, Ali, Matt, and Frank Turner, of course. I think it's four big names there. Go check it out Saturday. Salisbury this year. I know you guys missed Newburyport a little bit. That was a great run you had here. Yeah. The people still talk fondly about it because, I mean, they do smaller show is there still because it's a beautiful setting, but people definitely miss you guys in Newburyport too. I know.
Yeah,
but
well, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's Salisbury now for how many years?
This is just the second
year. It was just last year the first. So it worked out great. It was a great setting for you guys. So very cool. Again, Charlie Wilde. You can hear him at 6 in the morning on 92.5 The River. My girlfriend leaves the house and leaves the river on for the dog.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't know if you get a lot of that.
What's the dog's name? I got to write that down.
The dog's name is Twyla.
Twyla.
Yeah. You know that show, was it Schitt's Creek there, the funny comedy from Netflix?
Oh, yeah.
I believe Twyla's
yes.
a favorite character in that show.
Yes.
But yeah, small little dog, Twyla.
I'll introduce her to my dog, Willie.
Okay.
He's a husky corgi.
Do you also leave the radio on for him?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. So everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually classical music, though.
Oh, you don't leave the river on? He doesn't like hearing you?
He's neurotic. He's antsy about everything, so I try to calm him.
Okay. And he hears enough of you anyway.
Exactly.
I understand.
Yeah.
All right. Charlie Wilde, if you see him at Riverfest on Saturday, go say hello because it is a great day. Everybody's in a good mood. Bunch of great acts, including Frank Turner to close things up. People want to find any more information from you? You want to give them any social medias or anything?
Just theriverboston.com. You can follow us. We've got all our socials up there, and that'll do it. But Drew, I really appreciate this opportunity.
So great to meet you in person.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot over the years in person. I know we got a mutual friend in Matt Phipps who I think he helped make a lot of introductions to me and a lot of the river folks, including you. And it's just I don't know. I love the team over there. Lindsay's still over there. Lindsay Burrell. She's it's great. All right. Well, anyway, we love you all over there. I know you get so many fans around here, and that'll do it. We'll see Charlie Saturday. Go check out the Riverfest again. It's going to be a great day. I went last year. I'm going this year. It is worth the stop. It's a lot of fun. Thank you to Maeve Power, our producer, does all the hard work as usual. Sarah Hayden, the boss, Ryan Rothberg in the house today. And that's our small but mighty team today. So we thank you all so much. I get to just talk to interesting people as they do the hard work. We appreciate you. Thank you, Charlie. Live at Drew's house, Joppa Afternoon Drive. We'll see you next time, everybody. Peace.